Basketball is very good. Basketball is very good. Basketball is very good. Basketball is very good.
Jake, did you see this Woj bomb? Jay Crowder escorted out of the Cavs facility
What?
following a fight with LeBron after hearing he was traded to Utah.
Jay Crowder got into according to Woj, we're back. Ringer NBA group chat. It's trade deadline day, and just as
hold on. This is a fake Woj.
Oh my God. That was so good too.
Come on, Jason!
He fell for it.
That's like Bill Oram retweeted it.
Oh man, okay. At Ringer NBA group chat, trade deadline spectacular. Haley O'Shaughnessy, Justin Berry, Chris Ryan. We are now joined by Jason Concepcion.
Yay, Moutier.
He's just ordered his Emmanuel Moutier custom jersey. You came in, you were bummed. Can I unbum you?
Yeah,
can I make you feel better?
Let me hear it.
You guys are Brooklyn now. You're taking a chance on chances. You're saying, hey, you used to be a lottery pick. Maybe the Jeff Hornacek development program, that workout plan is what you need.
Yeah, that worked great in Phoenix.
The
when they had so many
tutelage of
guards.
Joke. Does that make you feel any better? You guys are now a clearinghouse for interesting talents.
I mean, sure, in a vacuum, great. Let's take a chance on Moutier. Functionally, now Frankie Smokes is theoretically still playing behind another player that he should not be playing behind. His development is hampered. Moutier has shown all signs of being bad, of being not good.
Right.
I'm not sure.
So, if you're talking strictly about being able to shoot, I agree with you, yes.
What does he do?
I think he's an interesting transition player. Can he run the floor a little bit?
Yeah. He's like a poor man's John Wall.
Yeah.
Extremely poor.
Yeah. You assume that he could run a little pick and roll. Sure. I mean, I think it's interesting just because I think, as we've talked about, Jason, many times, Nicotine is pretty versatile.
Yes.
He could be your off-ball defender. Maybe he's like more of a shooter. Maybe both can run a little pick and roll. Like maybe Nicotine's more of like the secondary guy. I don't know. Like, what are they going to do for the next year without Kristaps anyways? Just like get some young guys in there and
sure.
take
I mean,
a risk.
like they can play together in theory. That's fine. It's just Moutier is bad.
It's been a bad week for you. I get it. You're hurt.
It's been a tough week.
Hashtag Ringer NBA if you've got any questions. Jason, I just want to get your, the vapors coming off of you. Like, what do you think of this Cavs rip down and build up?
I have not seen anything like this outside of NBA 2K.
And we've never seen anything like this. This is way beyond Rasheed Wallace coming to Detroit. This is way beyond Dikembe Mutombo coming to Philly. This is unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Well, props to Justin Verrier for
thank you
calling it once again.
Yeah, it was all me.
It is really incredible. I mean, it's truly startling. I think the thing that's not being talked about enough is Dwyane Wade just being released into an empty field and go home.
Yeah.
Go home, Dwyane.
Yeah.
It's truly remarkable.
One of the things that's amazing about this, and we'll find out tonight probably or this afternoon, but I literally don't know what LeBron's reaction to this is.
Yeah.
Every guy,
he could be pissed,
with the exception of JR and Tristan, is gone. Dwyane Wade is gone. I mean, he co-signed the Derrick Rose bring. If this was the kind of team he wanted to play with, they could have done this in the summer.
Well,
He's
my
not going to
only-
say anything. He's just going to be like,
He might
I
on
just want to
Instagram.
win basketball.
Yeah, on
games.
Instagram. In the
He might have
comments.
a video like with a song that plays into like either he's mad or he's happy about it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Kevin Clark wants to know, do you think the Magic know today is the deadline?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Do you think-
They're still
I'm
working
sure-
on the whiteboard.
John Hammond is like, this on Friday, Elfrid Payton goes to the Knicks.
Yeah, no Elford now.
Yeah.
That must be a big bummer.
That's a bummer.
No, I mean, Aaron Gordon is still on the Magic as we speak. Every time I look up and I see that Woj just tweeted, I get a little nervous.
Young Birch
It's
is
just Denver and New York swapping some second round
Do
picks.
we think that the Hornets are going to end up doing anything?
I had heard, sources did say, that there had been some communication between Michael Jordan and Dan Gilbert earlier today.
Right.
I'd love
What
to
a
know what
combo.
that. Yeah, what is that about?
And it was just basically about like what kind of steakhouse do you like? You know, like when you order, do you like cream spinach? Do you like? I mean, I don't
That
know.
sounds like an extremely cocky conversation.
I think that they were in the mix. I would not be surprised if they were in the mix for at least Batum or Kemba, but I don't think they can literally.
No, now it doesn't make any sense.
And I wouldn't trade Tristan for. I mean, I think you need some frontline depth, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing we had heard just in the break there was that I guess the Cavs are still interested in moving Tristan Thompson. That's why they moved so aggressively early on in the day with the hopes of moving him. But, I mean, it's probably unlikely now. They don't have picks to move to get a guy like Kemba. They can't trade the Brooklyn pick because of the Stepien role. I don't know if there's like just some advanced Larry Kuhn-esque cap mechanics where you could do it, but it just doesn't seem like there's a natural partnership
Dan
anymore.
Gilbert owns casinos, and Michael Jordan's a famous gambler. Maybe it was about
Yeah,
that.
maybe it was
Maybe
just
there's
about
a little
playing
wink,
Pai Gow.
wink.
Like, where do you
Yeah.
like to play Pai Gow? All right, so do we assume then the DJ to Cavs is dead?
I think we have to. What else do they have?
It'd have to be Tristan. It would have to be like, do you guys just want to take Tristan on this contract, bring him back? Doc gets to have a mobile interior defender, and DJ, you get something back for DeAndre where he could just opt out and leave next season anyway.
What else do you get for DeAndre? Oh, just Tristan?
Tristan, yeah, because you were, I would say,
Why do the
Tristan
Clippers
and
want to take on anything long term at this point?
Maybe they know what the 2018 summer is going to feel like. Maybe they know that they're not in the mix for Paul or LeBron or any of these
Right.
guys.
They're like,
you know
if
what
the
I mean?
Lakers think that they don't have a chance, we definitely don't have a chance.
Portland has just traded Noah Vonleh in
Whoa!
cash to Chicago for the rights to a guy that I have never heard before.
Milukan Rakovic.
Rakovic.
That's the stuff right there. Okay, so Portland, is that maybe that could be the precursor? We thought Portland was going to be one of the big players. They have all these pieces.
Portland just rides with their guys.
Yeah.
That's why they paid them all. They're just sticking with it.
Well, we had talked about Portland maybe being a destination for DJ. We didn't know, you know?
They have 30
I
power
can't see-
forwards, so I
Yeah,
guess
right,
you could
exactly.
just get rid of one of
Exactly.
them to get under the tax. This is probably a tax-saving move.
Hashtag Ringer NBA if you want to ask us any questions about the Cavs, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Blazers, anything. Haley O'Shaughnessy, Jason Concepcion, Justin Verrier, Chris Ryan. We are here hanging out throughout the trade deadline. We've got other Ringer staffers in the mix. They'll be joining us later on. Let's see what we got here. Some questions about Den of Thieves, which I'm just going to skip over. Shout out to Sam Shuby. Who is the starting point guard for the Cavs?
It's probably George Hill, right?
Right?
Yeah, it's gotta be George.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. So
Who else would it be? Jose?
Clarkson.
Oh.
I don't
No.
think
No,
Clarkson
no.
plays basketball well. That's like the sneaky
You
thing.
gotta,
with the
you gotta
shooting.
lead with
You
that
don't like
take.
him as a backup?
He's a scorer. Like he's bad Jordan Crawford.
Right. He's the guy who took the time with Kobe closest to heart.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean he might fall into more of like a six-man energy role. I think LeBron was interested in getting Jamal Crawford over this offseason.
So you think it was like a misunderstood text message?
right, you just got
LeBron was like, "I want Jay Crawford," and he was like Clarkson, okay.
Yeah, so they got the younger, more expensive version. So that's
What is it with LeBron loving guys who were great like 7
He
years
has a little
ago?
bit of Doc Rivers in him. He
Kendrick
has a little
Perkins
bit.
back?
He's got his guys, and he's going to ride with his guys. Jason, what else about the Cavs? I mean, like, what else are you thinking about this move? All these moves.
I just have no idea what they're going to look like on the floor. Like how do they have time to even gel with the time that's left in the season? And how involved is LeBron in all of this? It's just
Right.
really fascinating to see
This will
what
either
other moves could be happening next, and what this team even looks like and plays like.
Yeah, this could be invigorating to him. This could be completely. You could see a completely despondent LeBron who maybe takes like 10 days off after the All-Star break because he has a hamstring pull and is just like, you guys figure it out and I'll come back.
Well, LeBron does that even when he's into it.
Yeah, but one of the things that drove the MVP conversation for him earlier in the season was just like the amount of minutes he was playing. He was really going after it, and then a lot of people, along with Isaiah coming back to the team, them having a much stronger schedule that they were facing, people were also saying LeBron's effort levels and energy levels are dropping off a little bit. Last night was sort of a return to form.
Yeah. I mean, how much more can he do is the problem. Like they had that stretch where they just walloped bad teams and won like 18 of 19. But at some point, other guys have to do stuff, and when you have Isaiah Thomas shooting 36% from the floor and like
25 from 3.
25 from 3 and moving like a guy with a bad hip, literally a guy with a bad hip, and talking a lot, it just is tough. Like, who's the other guy that's going to pick up the slack there?
Yeah, that's kind of like the sneaky storyline of LeBron over the past 2 years. Like, we make fun of like the trip to Miami and like, oh, he's barking because he wants an upgrade over Kay Felder. Like, what I'm reading from LeBron is like, I can't do this 82 games, I can't do this 70 games, but you give me 60 and get me to the playoffs and give me some like home court advantage in the first round. Like, yeah, I could do what I do, but up until then, you kind of really need to measure out how he's used, almost like he's Tim Duncan, some of these other guys.
Haley, you know what I think this is as far as like a plan for the Cavs? You know what I go to LeBron and say? Look, this is obviously a lot of change going on, but what we would love is if you give us a year and a half. Is if you play out this season, we make a playoff run, maybe we get to the finals, maybe we lose to Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, whatever. They're obviously not going to say that, but that's like a scenario.
Right.
Then you get a training camp with these guys, and if there are any tweaks we can make, maybe we keep Rodney Hood, maybe we get off of Rodney Hood.
Like they're still trying to please him, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like sign another 1-1,
right?
And let's make one more run at this in an East that's still not super powered. And we might be able to knock off the Warriors next year. And then in 2019, you want to go to the Lakers and set up like a 360 streaming deal with Hulu or something. Go for it.
In the meantime, the New Orleans Pelicans traded Dante Cunningham to Brooklyn for guard Rashad Vaughn.
Wow.
Oh, so Rashad Vaughn making a lot of stops in America's greatest airports.
Right. I think the big thing there is just Dante Cunningham plays basketball poorly.
Yes.
And he really wasn't filling in as kind of the stretch four next to Anthony Davis.
So Alvin Gentry is sort of trying to do Davis with shooters then, with Mirotic, with Rashad.
That's been the goal for like 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rashad Vaughn is going to stick in this league. I think at this point it's more to get off Dante Cunningham's money.
I'm excited for the war of the words between Isaiah Thomas and LeVar Ball when Isaiah ends up
we
coming
haven't
off the
talked
bench.
about
Oh,
this yet.
interesting.
Can you imagine this? This is going to be brutal, man.
It's been reported that Aaron Goodwin, Isaiah's agent, texted Rachel Nichols in all caps, Isaiah will not come off the bench.
This is a weird look for
Do you
Isaiah.
think he put the clap emoji in between every word?
I should
Will not come off the bench.
Are you sure this wasn't a fake Aaron Goodwin account?
Listen, I don't know. I should say that it does not specify what league. It could be the G League. It could be the Big Three.
Trunk Meat FC?
Yeah. It could be the Lithuania League. Anywhere else. But yeah, that is going to be a fun storyline to follow in the future.
It's a shame because I really, really, like, it's not that long ago that Isaiah was one of the best stories in the league.
I know, and now he's turned kind of annoying.
Well, what I was saying earlier was
such a
that
bummer.
I thought, like, he got to Cleveland, he got the lay of the land, he saw where he was and saw what was going on, and he was like, how do I get out of here now? Because if I stay here, I'm going to make the mid-level exception. So what do I have to do? And he literally went out and just ethered the team every night, win or lose, until they traded him. Until he was untenable to keep him
I don't
there.
believe that at all.
You think he was like, I really want to be a Cav?
Look at him run. Look at him trying to get to the basket. And then he had that quote yesterday. I was like, yeah, I like it here.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
was
like
weird.
people
That
will
was-
say anything,
That's what-
but
that's
I
what
just
you
think
say
the
when
guy
you-
doesn't want to get publicly traded again. I think he's like tired of people saying you can't really do anything for us that we couldn't get elsewhere.
I think he really thought that he was helping. I think in his mind,
Why
this
else
is
do you take that many shots a night?
this is what he did with the Celtics. He was like the emotional
Shoot through
leader.
it.
He was the guy that barked
Yeah.
at guys to get in line, and he comes in there
That's a good
thinking
point.
he's going to be the same thing. But when in actuality, you're like seventh in line behind
Yeah.
Kyle Korver. Like, don't talk until Kyle Korver talks.
That's a good point. If you're a 5'9", 5'8", point guard picked dead last in the draft, you have to have some sort of irrational confidence in order to stick in the league at all. So it's not surprising that he'd be like, yeah, this is a slump. I'm shooting bad.
Yeah,
fine.
If you're
I can't
always at
move.
70%, you're always outperforming expectations, right?
Right.
I mean, not that anybody was actually buying that, but that was Isaiah's big thing. We don't practice. I can't get my game legs together. I'm just trying to play my game. The shots will start falling. He just doesn't have that explosive. Half of his game was his shot. Half of his game was getting to the rim, drawing contact. He's a great free throw shooter. He did it at the end of the game last night, and I was like, oh yeah. Isaiah Thomas used to drive all the time, get to the free throw line. That hasn't really been happening. Hashtag Ringer NBA. If you have any questions for Chris, Haley, Jason, or Justin, we're talking Knicks, we're talking Cavs. Big picture. Some winners and losers of this trade deadline. You want to talk about that a little bit? Can we call the Lakers losers or winners of this trade
They're
deadline?
winners.
Winners.
They're winners because the moves that they made set them up for the vision that they've had for so long. So they're as Gons was talking about earlier, they've at the very least they're moving forward on a plan. Whether or not that plan is actually based in reality, shrug. But I don't know. I think for now they are winners.
The cash plan. It's just been reported that Luke Walton said he will wait before deciding what role Isaiah Thomas will play
He will wait.
before the Lakers and whether he will start or be the sixth man.
Funny how that happens.
That is pre or post this Aaron Goodwin tweet.
It appears.
Interesting. I wonder if they were contemporaneous.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes ago from Youngman-Suk.
Okay, so we've got Isaiah Thomas's agent saying to Rachel Nichols that Isaiah will not be coming off the bench, whether it
All
be
caps.
all caps, and we've got Luke Walton saying he will wait and see if he's going to bring Isaiah. So the Lakers may have gotten off some money, but they've gotten themselves into a headache. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, for
pull
sure.
does Isaiah Thomas have over the Lakers for them to be scared into starting him?
He can pull on Luke Walton's leg trouser. What?
I love
Sorry.
a short guy
No,
joke.
I mean Isaiah Thomas is an expiring deal.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Yes.
Exactly,
expire. Right, my
exactly.
dude.
Other winners and losers of this trade deadline.
George Hill, winner.
George Hill
Yes.
is a winner. I
Big
think
winner.
Rodney Hood is a winner. I think a lot of these guys who are going to get to play in 10 more national television games and in playoff series with LeBron James, one way or another.
Yep.
You're in the shop window now, dog.
Mm-hmm.
You get to make some money. Rodney Hood was in Utah, and then every third game he'd have a good game, and then it would be like Rodney Hood's bad. Well, now we get to find out. A lot of people are going to be watching him.
Yeah, Larry Nance gets to wear a Cavs jersey. We
Yeah.
talked about this earlier. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great little
Legacy
little
Cav.
wrinkle.
It's
I
pretty.
can't
That
wait for
is
the features.
That is cool, actually.
Yeah.
What are some other winners and losers? Who are you happy for? Who are you worried about?
I think some of the teams that haven't made deals yet, we still have a half hour to go, but Boston, are they under any pressure to get something done? Maybe
No.
get a little Tyreek deal going?
That's the one. Tyreek. What happens with Tyreek? Does
Yeah,
Tyreek
well,
go
this is
anywhere?
the thing. Memphis, this is Woj just now. Memphis is still without traction on a Tyreek Evans trade and may keep him, league sources tell ESPN. Grizzlies would try to re-sign him using their MLE this summer.
Nice leverage play
Yeah,
from
about
Robert
that
Perra
one.
and the boys.
So, that is an interesting question, though. Does this Cavs reshaping of the Cavs make Boston say, "Oh, maybe we should add something"? Well, they got Greg Monroe, right? But they've so far have Marcus Smart punching paintings in hotel rooms. He's not playing right now. They've been talking about moving him. Tyreek had been mentioned. I don't know. What do you think?
First of all, why not just punch a pillow?
That's a great question. Why do guys punch walls?
They're just
You
there.
three would have to answer that because I've never met a woman who's punched a painting in a hotel room. Second of all, I don't think the prerogative for Boston in all the trade rumors was ever like, most importantly, we need something else. I think it was because all the reports were that he was trying to get another first round pick, which some of them, it was so lopsided, I couldn't see it at all. So I think it's just the same Danny Ainge trying to plan for the future. So I don't think it was ever them feeling it was so necessary to get another piece. It would certainly help them.
This is
but
something. I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because this is something that you write about a lot, which is that a lot of teams are victims to their own inability to shape a narrative.
Yeah.
Think about Boston. 5 minutes into the
As
season.
you have every day.
Not today. Not on Super Bowl parade day. Think about Boston. 5 minutes into the season, they lose their big signing, Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, what could have been? That would have been nice. Wait till next year. Hopefully he'll be back. Yada, yada. And that they've managed the story of the season to be Brad Stevens is a genius. Kyrie Irving had this whole extra gear that nobody knew about, and Terry Rozier might be like the 5th best guard in the East. Yeah. So
might. Let's take the might out of there.
That's the same thing that's happening in another organization that's run very well, San Antonio, where you see them lose the best two-way player in the NBA with Paul George might have something to say about that, but Kawhi Leonard goes down, has this mystery injury in Cleveland, in Philly, in all these other places. They'd be like, what's the matter with Kawhi? Why isn't Kawhi playing? Why are you guys managing this injury wrong? Nope. Everything is quiet. DeJounte Murray's good. Kyle Anderson's good. Bertans is good. They just keep winning games. They're 3rd seed in the West. If Kawhi comes back, that's a bonus. It's about management of narrative. Yeah. Cleveland now gets to reset that narrative. Yep. So give me, Justin, go 3 weeks into the let's go to March. Are we saying, wow, the Cavs are a competent organization who pulled off a total roster overhaul on the fly? Or are we saying these are the last 40 games we're going to see LeBron in Cleveland?
I think we might be saying both.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be better. I think they can't be worse. A lot of these guys are just live bodies, as we've been saying this entire hour. I think they're going to probably push back up against the Celtics, and we're going to start saying, well, all you need is LeBron James in a series. And I think the counter to what Haley was saying, which I think is a really great point, but we've said this before, the window is the window.
Yeah.
And the Celtics right now are the favorites. Even after these moves, the Celtics are the favorites. And you're relying not only in your second unit on Terry Rozier and some of these other guys, but Jason Tatum's super young. He's one of your 5 most important players, is a rookie who's,
As
what,
Celtics
19,
fans
20?
Celtics fans love to talk about Jason Tatum ties his shoe. Can you believe he's 19?
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
He's
19.
That guy went and picked up Dunkin' Donuts the other day. Can you believe he's 19?
He's 19. Can you believe this?
And he's already hitting the wall.
Legitimate, he's 19 one is like when he had a baby. Every other one has been like, oh, he had a great dunk. Yeah. Can't believe he's 19.
Yeah,
Can you believe he's 19? He fathered a child.
But what do you think about this idea that teams shape their own stories?
I 100% agree with that, and I think this works in Boston's favor because, unlike Cleveland and anywhere LeBron goes, the narrative is got to win now, chasing Jordan.
Yes.
The time is now to set your legacy. Whereas Boston's like, not only are they in the catbird seat, they have a great roster that's playing really well and is well coached, but they don't really have to do it this year.
Yeah.
They're not like really on the hot seat. They can if they got knocked out in the Eastern Conference Finals or the finals, nobody's like, oh man, they really blew it this year with Gordon Hayward out, with
Brad Stevens winning a big game, or
Terry Rozier playing over his head, with like a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old, playing major minutes. Whereas anywhere LeBron goes, and the Cavs in particular, the narrative is always going to be, well, this is a massive failure if they don't win.
Weirdly, the other team that suffers from that kind of lack of ability to shape a narrative, even though they're it's in Los Angeles, is the Lakers. Mm-hmm. The Lakers, while Brian Windhorst set the table, hey guys, now the Lakers have cap room for this summer and next summer, the Paul George LeBron thing could be on. We're still here talking about what if Isaiah and LeVar get in a fight. Like the sort of clownsmanship that kind of hovers over the Lakers still hasn't completely been exercised.
Yeah, I think it really depends on how you look at it, because I think maybe to a majority of people, they just see, hey, Magic is in charge now, and like, wow, Rob Pelinka really looks good in a suit, and like, they're really going to shake it up. Like, they've sold 2019, like, in parentheses, just as they did like 2017 when they whiffed on Greg Monroe and LaMarcus Aldridge. But at the same time, you could say, like, for now, they haven't failed. And so I do wonder how people perceive that.
Yeah. Jason, just so you know, your boy Frank Isola tweeted, the Knicks could have acquired Elfrid Payton, a Scott Perry favorite, but they would not include Frankie Smokes in the deal with Orlando. Instead, they went after Moutier.
Some sanity reigns.
Does suggest that they see Ntilikina as the 2-guard, maybe.
That's fine. Ntilikina, if he develops correctly, you could see him playing anywhere in those front 3 positions.
We have a couple of questions from social media. Topeside asks, what do you think the Thunder will do this trade deadline and over the rest of the season? Well, there's 2 things. One, we really thought that the Thunder were going to be a destination for Avery Bradley or be in the Avery Bradley mix. I could see them being in the Joe Johnson buyout mix. But what if they don't?
I honestly don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't know if it's because they already have enough packed into and like dedicated to this team right now, or if it's just that everything kind of moved around them. I'm not sure, but what do you guys think?
I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I just think it makes too much sense to just keep pushing. You've already committed to the Paul George, Carmelo Anthony kind of core. And if you want to have any shot going forward, you kind of need to hope that Paul George comes back, because with Russ making as much as he does, like, how many other moves can you make on the fringes in order to kind of really shake that thing up? So just go for now, hope that convinces some guys to stick around, maybe some other guys to join in, maybe Joe Johnson. But I think Avery Bradley, Kevin O'Connor talked about it on the site the other day. I think it makes a lot of sense for them.
Paul George has been pretty outspoken in how much he loves being
Right.
a member of the OKC
Right.
Thunder. Like, how much of that is like, this is what you have to
Plus,
say?
what if he wins Defensive Player of the Year on the Thunder?
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
very much okay, I had a great year here, blah, blah, blah. I could see myself.
There was a
playing.
USA Today piece on Paul George the other day that came out sort of right after he had done a string of interviews where he was like, man, they're making my decision really easy. Man, Russ is so loyal. And then at the end of this USA Today interview, I don't know if it was with Sam Amick or who, but he was just basically like, I don't know what I'm going to do this summer. It was like right after like Magic got fined a second time for tampering. Paul George was like, maybe I'll be in LA.
Do you guys remember the games where he played in LA and his parents like were there and
Yes.
blah blah blah? There was a post game
yes.
interview where someone was like, yeah, basically the sideline reporter at the end of the game was like, what do you think? You're in LA. And he gave this answer, was like, yeah, I love OKC. You know, also LA's home, so I guess, you know, I just have a lot of options.
Yeah.
He's so confusing.
He's getting
Purposefully.
dangerously close to Dwight Howard. Seriously. Like, just put some candy in front of that dude, and he's going to go to your team.
Jason, we're going to let you go in a second, but we want to have one more social media question I wanted to ask you from Nico Paris. Which icebreaker games will the Cavs play in practice tomorrow to better get to know each other, and what will be their fun facts about each other?
Listen, fun facts are fraught. I had some spin the bottle, maybe some.
I think they got to start with stickers that just say like, "My
Hi.
name is Rodney. I went to
12
Duke.
points per
You know, no
game."
big deal."
What are the
Get
odds?
injured a lot, but don't worry, I'm good.
What are the odds that J.R. Smith is waking up right now and being like, "What? Who?"
No, that'll happen tomorrow in practice. If they have practice.
Yeah.
It's like, "Hey, Derek, I'm George Hill."
You're just going up to George Hill and just being like, "You're SETI, huh? I've heard about you." All right, we're gonna let Jason go. We're gonna bring Kevin O'Connor on. This is NBA Group Chat. We are taking you through the NBA trade deadline. Prayers up from my laptop to make it through the next 26 minutes. We have not had any Woj bombs in the last 5 minutes. We're still hearing about Kenneth Faried trying to get out of Denver. We've got Moutier in New York. We've got the Cavs remaking their roster. That's the big story. They have traded, let me just reset this for you, Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye and a protected 2018 first-round pick to the Lakers for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance. Cavs also got Rodney Hood and George Hill from Utah and Sacramento, respectively. Utah received Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose from Cleveland. Sacramento gets Joe Johnson from Utah and Amon Shumpert from Cleveland, and a 2020 second-round pick from Cleveland via Miami. I would expect Derrick Rose to get bought out in Utah. I would expect Joe Johnson to get bought out in Sacramento. The Cavaliers also said goodbye to Dwyane Wade, who returns to Miami, where he had just recently said he would like to finish his career, and reunites with Pat Riley as the Heat prepare for a postseason run. Kevin O-Rumors.
What's
Kevin
up?
O'Confirmation.
Kevin O-Confirmation. Kev, you
day.
smoked Woj. What's up, dog?
How's it going, guys?
How you doing, man? Is this your
So
favorite day
humble.
of the year?
What's up?
Is this your favorite day of the year?
No, I like the drafts.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
It's all about
I mean,
possibilities
the
with you.
trade deadline's boring sometimes.
Well, not
I mean,
today.
not today.
All right,
It's
let's
fun.
get to Kevin O'Connor. Like, what's your take on what Cleveland did here? Are you into it?
They're better. I mean, they get better this year. I think it helps them short term and long term. I mean, they get some younger guys, Rodney Hood, Larry Nance. I mean, I'm not a big Jordan Clarkson guy, but I mean, look, it helps them now and later. So that's kind of what you want, right? For
Right.
Cleveland, where if you have LeBron, maybe it's more appealing to him moving forward. And if you don't, well, guess what? You have some younger pieces that
You
can
have an
help you
NBA
moving
team.
forward. And
Yeah.
as of now, you still have
You're
the
not going
next
to get
pick.
contracted.
That's
sure.
why I think
Exactly.
this was actually very smart, because they kind of were planning for the future, but at the same time, they're like, look, most of these guys are ready now. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
LeBron, isn't this exactly what you were asking us for, except, you know, not directly asking us for, like asking us through the media. So I think that even if he wasn't 100% involved in this decision making, it was very much to say, look what we're doing for you.
Kevin, you often advocate or talk about this idea of blowing it up, of teams remaking their roster. Is there anybody in the next 18 minutes who could follow the Cavs down the dynamite trail?
I don't think so.
No?
Nothing realistic.
You seem
No.
so beatific right now. You seem like I can't get a read on. You don't think Memphis is going to trade Gasol and Tyreek?
I mean, they should.
Yeah.
I mean, they should. I mean, look, they shouldn't trade Gasol, but they should at least listen to offers and think about it. I mean, it's easy to say they should trade somebody without, knowing what's on the table. It could be all, garbage on the table
I
for
heard
someone like that.
of this very interesting proposal that is not rooted in facts or reports whatsoever. But what about Gasol to the Wolves?
Why? What for what?
For what?
For what?
What do you mean? I think it works for both teams. You don't think so?
I don't think that Marc Gasol's feet could withstand Tom Thibodeau coaching him.
Yeah, you can't play 40 minutes a night.
That's actually a good counterpoint to that.
And I also
just personality-wise.
What about Carl and Mark, kind of like in the same areas of the court? Like, don't they both like to play a little bit away from the basket as big men?
Yeah, they do. I think that Carl would definitely push down to the 4 no matter what, always.
Would he be into that?
Yeah,
okay.
he loves playing the 4. That's
Okay.
what he prefers.
Kevin,
about right.
are you hearing anything that you can share with our listeners as we approach the last 15 minutes before the trade deadline?
I think Atlanta is still trying to move off people.
Okay.
Marco Bellinelli, maybe DeAndre Bembry, Dwayne Dedman. But, like, those guys aren't anything to get super excited about.
Okay.
I mean, like,
Justin, what about you? You hearing
judging by
anything
the
that you
reaction, there's nothing to get excited about.
No,
there.
I mean, we brought up the Tristan Thompson thing. I don't know if they can swing a deal at this point just because they don't have much of a sweetener, and that contract just isn't good, quite frankly.
I mean, if it had, like, one less year on it,
Yeah.
with a little bit less money, then maybe it'd be easier to move that. But with the length and everything else, it's really hard. Everything I've heard about Thompson, like, if you think about, like, let's say Cleveland theoretically still wanted DJ, right? It's hard for a team to accept Thompson's deal and anything in return. So
Right.
I think it's pretty much, a contract that can't be moved at this point.
Couple questions here from social. Periscope's asking, on Periscope, someone's asking, how confident are you that Ty Lue can make this new Cavs team work?
I mean, no more confident or less confident than anybody else, really. It's going to be the trade deadline. I mean, over All-Star weekend, that's where this break is going to be huge for them. It's going to be like a mini training camp. I mean, it's going to be the type of thing where they had problems in the beginning of the season integrating new players that came back from injury, or like when Isaiah came back, and they got to do it all over again now with a couple months to go before April. I think they can do it. I think they're better, but there's no guarantees that it works out. And plus, some of those guys are injury prone too. Rodney Hood and George Hill, both.
Almost every day I go into your office and we talk about like the storylines around the league and like what we should try and assign people to go work on. How early is too early if I come into your office and say this trade was a disaster? This isn't working. Are you going to give the Cavs the rest of the regular season?
I thought you were gonna say, like, why didn't the Sixers make a move, and
No,
like, does this make them one of the top 4 teams in the East? Because you say that a lot to me in my office.
Those are private conversations. How dare you?
I think they get a little bit of a grace period, but at the same time, we just said this with Jason, like, everything with LeBron James is a win now move, and you're gonna have the expectations that come along with playing with LeBron James. So I think it's not going to take that long, to be honest with you. Like we said, like the bar was so low with what had happened. Like that Orlando loss was just so toxic that anything that they show on defense, any sort of just them running
Yes.
at any quick sort of pace will be an upgrade. And so from there, I think it's going to be mostly optimistic.
KOC, has a team ever blown it up mid-season to this degree before?
I don't think a team this good has ever done something like this.
Right.
I mean, I say this good, but it's like, are they that good?
Yeah.
I think
Maybe that with this much potential.
I think you got to give them credit, right, for being creative as they are and ballsy as they were to do something like this. Because a lot of organizations be like, you know what, like we got a good team, we got to ride this out. We traded Kyrie for these guys, we got to stick with them and give it a chance. But they're like, you know what, screw it, like we got to take advantage of this. And they got really, really creative to get this done.
You mentioned the Kyrie trade, so let me ask you this: now, Kyrie Irving for Rodney Hood, George Hill, Jordan Clarkson, and Larry Nance. Is that a good deal?
No.
No.
Kyrie Irving would come back with a huge attitude because he loves
No.
his new
I mean,
position.
like in retrospect,
Okay.
did the Cavs get enough for Kyrie?
I see what you mean.
Yeah. Is this better or worse than the ITJ Crowder Hall and the Brooklyn pick?
It's better, in my opinion, because Isaiah didn't turn out. They still have the pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
I mean, I don't think when you put it like that, I think it's going to be a disappointment. I mean, obviously Kyrie is an all-star. He's an all-star starter. We'll see what the Brooklyn pick becomes. I think so. That deal is not really set yet, so we don't know what that is. I think it is a great move from the Cavs' perspective because it's this idea of sunk cost, right? You don't double down on mistakes just because you made a mistake in the past. And it's credit to Kobe Altman and that sort of organization that they didn't keep making mistakes simply because of what they did in the past. So in that respect, I think it was a good move, a good sign.
Yeah, I'd be happy if I were a Cavs fan today.
Couple other questions coming into us from social. Thoughts on IT possibly being bought out by the Lakers? He obviously.
I don't see why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I guess not.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like he's coming in with a lot of demands for a guy who is shooting 25% from three and 36 overall, as we said earlier. Seems to have lost his step a lot. So I think it's very smart for them to just do that.
Yeah, what do you think about Isaiah in Los Angeles?
Sorry, I was just laughing about something a friend texted me.
Was it related to? Was it Aaron Goodwin?
No, I was trying to find more information about that though.
It's about World of Warcraft.
And I would say, with Isaiah, no. I would say this though. It's a little. I wouldn't overreact to that Rachel Nichols report. Like the deal just happened,
sure.
Right? And if you're Aaron Goodwin and Isaiah Thomas, and you're hearing about plans of coming off the bench on a bad team, you're not too happy about that when you get a big free agency coming up. So, look, I mean, Isaiah's going to play. He's going to get minutes. He's going to get opportunity. If he's starting or not, who cares? I feel like if you're them, you're going to just accept the situation and think, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for Isaiah to get more chances to score than he would have otherwise in Cleveland. I think it'll work out there. Unless, the Lakers are like, we don't want to deal with it. And they're the ones who want to buy him out.
Okay. Well, all right. I think we've thoroughly covered all the stuff from every Cavs angle that we can. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break for about 10 minutes. We're going to get to the end of the trade deadline. We're going to reset here, and then we'll be back at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern as the trade deadline happens, and we'll get you guys caught up not only on stuff from today, but we'll go back to the Blake deal. We'll see how the league has changed over the last couple of weeks, and we will kind of try and sort out who's the winner, who's the loser of these trades, and what the season's going to look like going forward. So we'll be back. NBA group chat, trade deadline extravaganza. Hit us up, #RingerNBA if you have more questions. We'll be back in just a few minutes.